This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 830 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you, one day at a time. Hi everybody, Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. It's time again for another installment of Trading Tips with Michelle Bergeron of Right Lead Equestrian Center in Louisiana. Michelle is a graduate of Louisiana Scholars College, a North American Riding for the Handicapped registered instructor, British Horse Society certified instructor, and a certified instructor and judge for the World Side Saddle Federation. This time out, it's clever cover-ups. And we'll get right to our tip after this important message from State Line Tack. Equestrians love summer. We relish the frenetic pace of horse show season, getting kids ready for pony camp, and even the mad dash to get into clinics with our favorite Olympians. The blood-sucking insects, however, not so much. That's where StatelineTack.com comes in. State Line Tack knows how important summer is to all horse lovers, whether they chase foxes, blue ribbons, or gold medals. State Line Tack is your one-stop website for all manner of summer survival products for you and your horse. Fly sheets and fly masks, fly sprays and spot-on treatments, even feed-through fly control and barn misting systems. You can find it all at competitive prices at StatelineTack.com. And we are back again, folks, for the much-anticipated next episode of Michelle and Jen's Trading Tips. I'd like to welcome back to the show Michelle Bergeron from Right Lead Equestrian Center in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Welcome to the show, Michelle.
Thank you, Jen. I'm so happy to be back. It's always fun to talk to you.
I love trading tips with you because I always feel so smart.
Oh, same here. And I have all kinds of things I want to ask you after we're done recording about stuff in my tack room to see what your take is. What kind of goodies you have?
What kind of goodies I have?
Share with me.
Yeah, now that I have an actual tack room and the tack is no longer living in the horse trailer, it's very exciting.
Yeah. How fun is that, huh?
It's really kind of cool because when I go into the tack room, I do not have to worry about zhuzhing out the wildlife. Mm-hmm. Although I did have a nuthatch attempting to nest in my my sponge basket. You know, I always have a little mesh basket to dry the sponges in.
Yeah.
And for 3 days in a row, I had to dismantle the nuthatch nest. Apparently they're pretty, once they've decided on a neighborhood, it's pretty tough to change their mind.
They're persistent.
Yes. So finally, Mr. and Mrs. Nuthatch gave up and moved around the corner into the next stall and put it in the window of my next door neighbor's stall. So she has to deal with the nuthatch.
You should have just gotten another basket, and one for them and one for you, and then everybody would have been happy.
That's a bad precedent, because then the next thing you know, you have a raccoon moving into the tack trunk.
Word's going to get out.
Yeah, word's going to get out, and we have sufficient amounts of wildlife here. I'm not going down that road. So I think we're going to start out with some protective tips today, Michelle. Get us started.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about what you can wear when you body clip, or that doesn't even have to be body clip. If you just clip in your horse just for a show, we've all clipped, and you get hair in your shirt, you get hair in your pants, you get hair everywhere. You probably can't just go home. You've got work to do at the farm. You got to ride. You got to teach. You got to go who knows where.
You got to go to the grocery store.
Pick up feed. Yeah, I mean, 101 different things. You don't have time to just change your clothes. And it drives me, at least, completely crazy. Itchy, itchy, itchy with those little prickly hairs. So actually, this was Ricky's idea. He got tired of hearing me gripe about it. So he said, go up in the back of the truck in the toolbox, and I got a Tyvek suit in there. Put that on. Well, okay, so Jennifer, you know the size difference between Ricky and I is
Ricky is 6'2", probably used to be a football player. Yeah, Ricky.
A weightlifter.
Yeah, there we go.
Power lifter.
Okay. And Michelle Bergeron could qualify as a jockey even today.
Yeah,
yes.
I can get away with riding a medium pony easily.
Yeah.
So it was pretty hysterical when I got suited up to do this. And in fact, their pictures do exist. We were wintering in Florida at the time. And I'm going to tell you, I clipped that horse top to bottom, took the suit off, shook it out, went on with the day, didn't have the first itch.
Really?
Yep, didn't have to feel like I was going to pull my hair out because I just had to change my clothes, had to go take a shower, but I couldn't. Completely.
How interesting.
Perfect.
Now
So
the Tyvek
this is
suit.
what I'm going to do now.
Tyvek suit. Does it make a because Tyvek is a little bit like paper. Did it make an especially loud swishy, swishy, papery, scary noise?
Well, no, not well. I rustled quite a bit because I kind of looked like the Michelin Man. But I think for you to get an appropriate size, any horse that's going to be able to get body clipped and tolerate clippers, the sound of the suit is
pretty minor.
Just not even going to impact them at all, I don't believe.
Okay, so my next question is, where would one purchase a Tyvek suit? And is it called a Tyvek suit, or does it have some fancy name?
Well, I only know it by Tyvek, and Ricky gets them at the plant, I think is where he got his. Now, you can look it up online, and there's a place called Uline, the letter U, LINE.com, and they have a whole section on Tyvek.
They sure do. Look at that.
Look at there, envelopes and expandable files and colored envelopes and tags for lockout, tag-out stuff, wristbands, you name it. Okay, keep scrolling down, and you're going to find protective clothing and personal safety. And there you go. You got little Tyvek booties, and you got, looks like some sort of sleeve for your arm and an apron. And there, I didn't wear the hood on mine. I think we did for the picture, but I didn't wear it when I clipped.
How handy
you
is
can
this?
get like a lab coat. Let me tell you what, I wouldn't have come up with that by myself, but it was pretty handy. Now, you know, everybody in our barn, it was me and another girl suited up because my horse had never been body clipped before, and they laughed at us pretty good. But
well,
but they weren't laughing when we were all finished and they were itchy and we weren't.
And you weren't. It does not appear that the Tyvek coveralls come in pink. They come in pretty much white. But what a handy thing to have around the barn, even if you're not clipping. I think I'm going to add this to my Tack trunk full of things. When you need it, because you get a horse come in that you have to change your clothes after you work with him because he's on quarantine or something.
Yep, exactly.
This would be doggone handy to have around.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, great tip.
There's all kinds of things. You're painting your jumps, you know, dragging your water troughs out to scrub them up. Maybe you got to go somewhere afterwards. You can be relatively clean when you leave. You just peel that suit off.
Yeah, pretty doggone handy, Michelle. Woohoo! And thank you also to Rick for helping us out on that one.
Yes.
Well,
It's amazing when you start hearing, you know, what you can come up with.
Well, given the opportunity, Rick will invent all day. So.
Oh God. Well, that's true.
Yeah. Well, I've got a slightly different take on a protective tip for today.
Alrighty.
And mine is for those of us out there in the world who have horses that have shelly, crumbly feet that drive us bonkers.
Oh, yes.
One of the contributing factors to shelly, crumbly feet that can't hold shoes and chip frequently is the hoof becoming saturated and then drying and saturated and drying. Not real good. Not good. So most of us, especially those of us with horses with bad feet, use some type of a hoof conditioning or hoof sealant product. If it's oil-based, it is a sealant of some sort because, as you know, if you put oil on a hoof, the water can't get through. Right. Or you use a product that is called a sealant, and it's a little bit more like fingernail polish for a human. If you apply those products immediately before you wash your horse, you're going to be doing yourself and your horse's hooves a favor because it will reduce the saturation aspect of that bath. And most horses, especially this time of year, every single time they get worked, they get hosed off. Yeah. And their feet pay the price. So what I do a lot is I just use plain old boring baby oil or a good quality hoof oil like Hooflex or something like that is good for their feet, but it also is something that wears off and pretty quickly when they're turned out in the grass. It doesn't stick on there very long, but it protects their feet long enough to give them that bath. You'll see the water runs down over top and makes little beads, and that's one of my favorite tips. Yeah, it's short and sweet and handy.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And easy to come by. I like that because goodness knows, I mean, today I was just out. Mine didn't work today. I didn't have time to work any of them, but they all got sprayed off because it was just hot. And I was looking at their feet thinking the same thing.
Stinking hot. And they wanted a shower. Yeah. Well, there we go.
They did.
Once again, great tips, Michelle. Talk to you again soon.
You bet.
And that's a wrap. To listen to all of Michelle's tips, just go to horsetipdaily.com and look for the experts drop-down menu on the left. You can also follow Right Lead Equestrian Center on Facebook. You can also find lots more tips about topics ranging from barn care to websites for horse people at horsetipdaily.com. Just look for the topics drop-down menu on the left. Don't forget to support our sponsors here on Horse Tip Daily because they make these podcasts possible. Today's podcast has been brought to you through the generous support of StatelineTack.com. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.